Hey YouTube, welcome to a new Unity 3D LAN tutorial. So last tutorial we made the main menu move around, but that's not the tutorial I want to talk about. The tutorial before that we made it so you could pick up weapons and dual wield them. But the only issue with it, well, there's quite a few issues with it, so not the only issue, but there was quite a few issues with it. So, like, one of the issues I found is if you collect a sword, then collect another sword, we've got two swords. It doesn't show it yet, but we have. We can check this by going to character, misc scripts. Here, player amount, we've got 2, correct? So if we click it and click equip to left, it gets rid of it, and we've still got 2. Well, that seems a bit weird, so what do? Really easy to fix this one. All you do is go into your player inventory, which is here, inventory GUI, and scroll all the way down to the bottom where you equip it, to the clear grid, which is called every time it begins to, it takes one away, then clears the grid, see if it's empty, simply get rid of the equals. So if it equals 2, then it'll equal 1, if it's 1 or less, so if it's 0, it clears it. And that'll fix that error so you can have multiple ones at once. That's simple. It works really well. So what we're going to do in this tutorial though, after we've fixed that bug, is we're actually going to make it so it's rotated properly, so when we equip it, so it actually looks like a real sword in our hand. So we attach that one, and we grab that one, we equip, and then we click the equip on the other one, equip. Great, so we've now got 2 swords, brilliant. We can attack with one, we can't attack with the other, we'll eventually sort that. But what we're going to do is actually make them rotate and face properly, so we look like that guy there, holding a real sword, so we can run around with it. We could possibly make a sheath thing, which is where you hide your weapons. I think it's called sheathing, I can't remember. But it's really simple to do. All we're going to do is we're just actually going to change the rotation to what it's actually supposed to look like. But before we do that, we're going to create a new function here. So what this function is going to do is hopefully put all of these into one main thing. What we're going to do down here is type function add to hand. That's what I'm calling it. And inside these brackets we're actually going to put something. Now if you remember the class we made, you put parameters, that's it, I got it finally, inside these brackets, and we're going to do the same for this. So the parameters we're going to add, hopefully, are the ones where it requires. So, of course, we require a hand, so we're going to put hand, and if you look here, the left hand is a transform, so I'll set it to transform. So when we actually call this function, we'll set hand as left hand, so it's automatically there, because all I want to do is basically put this spawn into its own. So left hand weapon, we need weapon, so we'll put this before this, it makes more sense too. And this will be a game object, I believe. And the next one is, that's it, that's all we need, those 2 things. So hopefully this should work better. So get rid of the print, we don't need it no more. And just above the spawning here, we're going to type add to hand bracket, and then now what we need to put in here is the first the weapon, which is left hand weapon, and then we also put left hand. Just like that. But we can also do this for the right hand, so if we put it in the right hand, put it here. There, add to weapon, we put right hand weapon in and right hand. Just like that, simple, yes? So when it'll call the function, and it'll come down here, we'll type var spawn weapon, just weapon now, equals instantiate bracket, and then we first need the weapon, so weapon, and then we need the hand, so hand dot position, and then we can just put quaternion dot identity in, like so. So now that'll spawn it right where it needs to, so no matter what. So under that we also need to set which hand it's in. So we can just copy this line here, paste it in here. So spawn weapon dot transform dot parent equals hand. So we're setting it to that. So what these parameters are basically doing is what it does is it says we need these 2 objects. So we need a game object of some kind and a transform of some kind. So when we call it here, we're setting the game object to the right hand weapon, which is our resources. And we're setting the hand object to a transform, so the right hand. We're giving it what it wants. So it's really better if you think about it. So now we can put all these 3 lines inside here, like that, because we only need to call them once in this hand weapon. So we can get rid of all this here and all this up here. So now we've dramatically took our equipped lines hand down massively. And what we also can do is get rid of this left hand weapon equals this and just put it up here. So left hand weapon game object equals that. Took our lines down again and put it up here, just like that. So now it's calling it, it's setting what our left hand is, which is, you could even do that up above if you like, I'm not going to. Then it calls the function, puts it there, works perfect. Let's have a look. So of course when we sort out the rotation, that will go in that function because it doesn't need to be in both. So we can come down here, select one, seems to work. So click one, equip, click one, equip. Works the exact same, but much easier. Parameters, if you can find the use, are really helpful. For everyone who's tried to mod before or program inside mine and then CRAFT, craft, I'm not going to say where it is because people will copyright, but basically they use parameters for their crafting. So they have crafting grid 1, crafting grid 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, well 6 to 6, and it'll say if crafting grid 1 equals this and number 2 equals this and 3 equals this, then spawn this, which we will do in the future. So we've got that. Now let's sort out the transform of it. So in order to fix the transform, what we've got to do is we first need to actually position it on our character and decide where it's going to go. So of course the best way to do this is to play it, collect it, try it. So I've only collected one because when you collect one the rotation is going to be the same for them both. So we can pause it and we can go and have a look at our character now. So if we double click this and type in sword, clone, it'll be the clone. I already know it'll be the clone because it's spawning it, so it'll clone it. So there's our sword. We'll go to the left view. And what we'll do is rotate our character so it's facing where it should be. 180. Because then that way, whatever we rotate this sword to, it'll be straight and not slightly off. So we're going to rotate the sword down. We'll clear that in wrong place. So we'll go center and just click center and pivot because our pivot point for it's down here. So when you rotate it back to where it was. So I've collected it, I'm going to click and equip it to any. It doesn't matter which hand you equip it to, they'll both be the same. I'm going to pause the game and double click the sword so we can see it. So there's the sword. Make sure your pivot is clicked so you're near the handle, if not you may run into a bit of an issue there. But what we're going to do is rotate it. So about there for a sword, so he's holding it out or she's holding it out. And then what we can do is just move the position down a little bit. In fact I want it like straight forward, like she's actually holding it, like that. Perfect. So these are the rotations and positions you want for your sword inside this hand here. Like so. You do it like that, they will run around with it straight. You can see, if I press 4, now it looks like she's actually attacking with it. That actually looks pretty badass. I didn't think it'd look that good. So we can come in, and what we're going to do is write all these rotations down in a script without unpausing it. Sorry about not zooming in again. There's the thing if you want to add that. Yep. So down here, before we clear any grids or anything, we're going to come here and type spawn weapon dot transform dot euler angles, and that should be in euler angles equals, and we're going to put vector 3, and in here we'll put 6.4. I'm just going to roughly round them up, so 6.5 for the x, which is there, 108, or 109 then, because I'm rounding it up. If you don't know how to round up, basically, you look at the decimals, so we'll do the 6 one there, so anything after the decimal, if it's 5 or over, you round it up to the next whole number, otherwise you don't. So 6 is it's got a decimal, so 6.4, it's below 5, so it stays at 6, which I made a mistake there, so 6. 108.6, it's 5 or above, so it is 109. 273.7, that's rounded up to 274. Really simple to do. If you don't have to do that, just Google it, it shouldn't take long to figure it out. Yeah, so above this we're going to type spawn weapon.transform.position, and because it's a local position, that's why it's not like 2 million or something now, we'll put equals vector 3, and inside here we'll put minus 0.2, and then 0.0, and just keep it, in fact, like 0, and then minus, well, just put 0 again. Yep, so that's your only real position you've got to play with, the X one. So we go and try that now, and that should work. So, we're about to try it, we go in, and you'll see, first thing we get is an error. And I've done this on purpose so you can see it. Expecting bracket found spawn weapon. So it's expecting a bracket somewhere, but instead it's found the word spawn weapon. So it's on 161, so let's have a look. It comes down, 161 here, it finds the word spawn weapon. If it does that, trace it back up to the line above. It's expecting a bracket, there's your problem. We missed a bracket and a semicolon. We go back and it'll do it, but I've left one more error in there, which I've done to actually show you, to make you understand better. So all that will disappear. You'll see that usually when you get one error, it'll spread across your whole script and you'll be like, wow, I've got 50 errors. You correct one semicolon and it'll fix all 50. That's how weird it is. So, if everybody remembers what I said about local position and normal position, this is where it comes into play. So we've said, set the sword's weapon, position, and the ULAR angles to the hand, correct? So we click equip and the sword's not there. But if we double click the sword in scene view, you see it's all the way over here with mad positions. And the reason it's doing it is because it's not setting it to local position, it's setting it to a position in the world, so the world position. In order to set it to local, you simply type local. That's how easy it is. You just type local in front of both words, lowercase. You come back in, and of course I always miss the capitals. So position needs to be P, capital P this time, and EULAR. It's ULAR. I looked it up, it's ULAR, how you say that. It's a silent E, I still missed that. So we come back, and you'll see it's all working now. We click play, and we will begin running up and collect a sword, then another sword, and we click equip, and then equip again. So as you can see, oh dear, one sword's backwards but one sword's correct. So that's something we have to fix with the rotations because it's obviously gone a bit messed up. A little if statement there you can see is just the right one. So if we pause the game and come back to scene view, double click our character, set the rotation to 0 so they're facing one certain way. And if we double click the sword, you'll see that this sword is facing correct. That looked incredibly wrong. But then this sword is backwards, so that's something I didn't actually predict. We can see the rotation, which way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be that way, like the other sword is 109. This one needs to be 254. So it's just a small if statement what we have to put in there. 250 it needs to be. So that's a little error with it. Well, kind of. So in here we'll just type if hand dot game object dot name equals, and the hand's name should be the name of the hand we found, so it'd be left hand. So if it equals left hand, which I believe is the error hand, yes I believe it was, if not we might have to change that around. If it equals that, then all we do is set the rotation to that, and then we put an else in, else if it equals player right hand, we set it to 259 I believe it was, 250, that'll do. So just a small little glitch kind of thing, so we try it again and see if it worked. So I'm going to come up and I'll collect 2 weapons. This may be complete backwards, click, so that one works, click the next one. So we got it right, look, there we go, we've got 2 weapons now. Dual wielding, we're going for it. We can't attack with either yet, only one I mean. We will eventually fix that, and the one thing is we can still just, yeah. So it's really cool, it works. We can kill her again because I love that for smoke effects. I never showed you, but yes, they are still bouncing around. We will fix that soon. Thank you for watching. I really hope you liked it. Please join my Facebook group. Any issues, please comment below and I will gladly help. A lot easier than what it was going to be, because otherwise we'd have to put this line in every single one. It'd be a bit annoying. So parameters again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.